Welcome to this guided meditation with Mindful Sparks. Today we're going to be exploring the whole 7 steps in the Mindful Sparks approach during this meditation. You can choose if you want to just focus on your thoughts or your emotions or the responses in your body, or maybe you want to scan between the 3. Totally fine. This is your experience, so you do this in a way that resonates with you. So as always, get comfortable, finding a comfortable seat, whether that is on a chair or on the floor. Taking a moment to get any last movement, wriggles, stretches out of the body. Beginning to transition to a place of stillness and quietness. Thinking about your posture. Having your shoulders stacked over your hips. Checking your chin, your neck isn't jutting out too far forward, so bringing that back. Having a nice straight spine from the base of your spine all the way to the base of your skull. Might want to roll the shoulders a little bit and rest your hands gently in your lap or on your legs. If you wish to close the eyes, please do so now. If not, just soften the gaze, looking down at the floor or into middle distance. Take your attention to your breath, to the air moving in and out of your body. Noticing if your breath is long or short, is deep or shallow, is loud or quiet. There's no right or wrong way to be breathing. What we're doing is noticing how it is to sit in your body in this moment and breathe. Try and keep your attention on your breath for the next few moments as we sit in silence before we begin this practice. Keep your attention on your breath as we sit in silence for a few moments before we begin this practice together. So for our practice today, we will be going through 7 steps, 7 different mini practices all together. And as I mentioned earlier, you can focus solely on your thoughts, if that's what you would like today, or your emotions, or your body, or 2 of them, or all 3. This is your practice, so do what feels good for you, what resonates with you today. So taking our attention now from our breath to either our thoughts, our emotions, or our body. And we start by noticing what's happening. Are our thoughts big and loud? Are our emotions changing? Is our body got lots of energy or low energy? So spending a few moments noticing what's happening in your inner landscape. The nuances, the complexity, the fluidity of it all. Noticing how things are changing. And noticing how you're responding to that. And now, taking your attention to what you've noticed and seeing if you can name it. How are you understanding your experience? Are your thoughts about the past, the present, or the future? Are your emotions just one emotion or different versions of the same emotion? Is what you're noticing in your body, how many words can you describe it with? And is it all over your body, or do different parts of your body have different sensations? And now, can you make any connections? Can you begin to understand how or if your thoughts, emotions, and responses are connected? Or if you're just focusing on your thoughts, can you make any connections between your thoughts? I notice that when I think about this, I tend to go back to the past. I notice when I think about this, I spend a lot of time in the future. Or if you're just looking at your emotions, I've noticed that when I experience this emotion, I try and push it away as quickly as possible. Or I notice if I experience this emotion, I want to hold on to it. Or noticing in the body, I've noticed that this part of my body feels this way, but this part of my body feels completely different. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to be experiencing this right now. We're strengthening our self-awareness so we can really understand ourselves better and deeper. We'll sit in silence for a few minutes to go through these reflective stages of noticing, naming, and understanding what's happening in our internal landscape. Now that you have a better understanding of what's happening in your inner landscape right here, right now, in the present moment, let's see if we can pause here and notice if we're bringing any judgment in. Have you described any of your experiences as good or bad? Or if only I'd done this, I should have done that. Why am I experiencing this? This is all judgment. And what we're trying to do here is practice objectivity and also practice compassion. So what you have noticed and named and understood, take a moment now to reflect. Have I put any judgment on that, on myself or on other people that were in that experience with me? If you have, can you take those words back? Instead of saying, oh, I can't believe I did that. I just wasn't thinking properly. I was being so silly. Maybe changing that to, maybe I didn't make the best decision in that moment, but it's what happened and I can learn from that. So spend a few moments here. Try not to get caught up in the story or the daydreams that might be coming up surrounding what you've noticed, named, and understood. See if you can keep the retelling of what you're experiencing objective without judgment. Now that we've noticed, named, and understood what's happening in our inner landscape right now, we've also practiced pausing, bringing in some compassion. So we strengthened our self-awareness, practice compassion, and now we can begin to think about the next steps. How can we move on from this? How can we build some resilience so that we are able to deal with situations like this in a more grounded, calmer way in the future? So take a moment to think of all the things you want to celebrate from what you've noticed. Maybe you've uncovered a little bit of hidden knowledge about yourself today. Maybe you've made a connection you haven't made before. Or maybe you're just really glad that you've taken the time to sit and connect with yourself. These are all things worth celebrating, and it's really important that we remember to do this while we're on the journey of strengthening our self-awareness and building resilience. So now you have some things you want to celebrate. What would you like to improve upon? Where would you like to grow? Would you like to have more patience? Would you like to have a strategy in place that can give you some space so your emotions don't overwhelm you instantly? Would you like to be more connected with your physical body? Take a moment now to think of one or two things you would like to focus on that would help you grow as a person, help you strengthen your self-awareness, and bring some happiness into your life. And now that you have some ideas, they don't have to be big, grand, thought out designs. Just, this is something I would like to aim for. How could you do that? What small adjustments could you begin to make today that will get you towards that step, towards your first step of reaching a goal you would like to achieve? That might be speaking to somebody to get advice. That might be reading a book to get some ideas, listening to a podcast, doing some research online. What could you do that will begin to get you on the journey of building some resilience? And our final step in the Mindful Sparks approach is reflecting. And this can be done in two ways. Taking a moment now to kind of reflect on this very short process that we've just done. Was that easy for you? Did you find it uncomfortable? Were you able to quite easily come up with some areas you would like to focus on? Or was there some resistance? There's no right or wrong explanation here. There's no right or wrong experience. This is for you to help understand yourself better at a deeper level. If there was some resistance or you found this practice quite challenging, maybe that's what you want to reflect on. Why did I find that harder? Why did I feel resistance to this? If you found it quite engaging, it gave you some things to think about, you can also do this reflection, in 5 days' time, 2 weeks' time, as you begin to make those adjustments, as you begin to make those changes in your life. Am I able to stick to my goals? Am I able to find ease in this transition? Reflection is an ongoing process. It's not something that we do once. So this is something you can drop into anytime. And we'll sit together in silence for a few moments. Maybe you want to explore one area of this practice we did. Maybe you want to go through all 7 steps. So maybe you want to notice, to name, to understand, and to pause. Bring in some compassion. And then spend some time thinking, what have I done so well already? And where can I level up to? Adjusting, how can I do that? What small steps can I take to get me towards where I want to be? And finally, reflecting. How has this practice felt for me today? So we will sit in silence for a few moments together. And the next time you hear my voice, I will be bringing this meditation to an end. As we bring our practice to a close today, slowly begin to move your fingers, your toes. And when you're ready, let's take 3 deep breaths together. Taking a big breath in and out. Big breath in and out. The biggest breath of the day. Fill up your lungs. Big breath in and out. And in your own time, in your own way, slowly begin to bring some movement back to the body, opening the eyes, coming back to the room around you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I look forward to practicing with you together on our next meditation. Have a lovely day.